If you're Gen X and feeling like you've missed the boat on building real wealth, there's a storm of challenges hitting us right now. So it's easy to feel like it's too late. But I'm here to say that we are not out of time. As Gen Xers, we're in a very unique moment. We are facing obstacles that no other generation before us had to deal with. But we also have tools and opportunities that didn't even exist a decade or so ago. The key is using those opportunities to our advantage. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 reasons this may be the worst time to build wealth. And in the second half of the video, 5 reasons it could actually be the best. But first, let's start with the 5 reasons that building wealth feels harder than ever. Okay, first is cost of living is outpacing income. Our prime working years have been plagued by stagnant wages. And that's not just opinion. It's well documented. Meanwhile, the cost of housing, insurance, groceries, the basics of life have skyrocketed. These aren't luxury items, these are essentials. When just staying afloat is so expensive, saving feels nearly impossible. Number 2, assets are overpriced. We're told to build wealth by acquiring assets, right? But how do you do that when everything classified as an asset has a price tag that's out of reach to so many? Assets, they usually include things like homes, stocks, property, even vehicles. So ask yourself, just in the past few years, what's happened to the affordability of those things? If you're a Gen Xer that doesn't already own property, it's tougher than ever to break in now. The average price of a new car is $48,000. That's a lot of money. And while cars, they're not investments, but they are still liquid assets. Today's physical assets are harder than ever to afford, and even harder to finance, maintain, and insure them. The third reason it's incredibly difficult for Gen Xers to build wealth right now is the economy is so volatile. We just lived through one of the most extreme economic disruptions in modern history during the global shutdown a few years ago. We saw massive job losses, layoffs, record inflation, spiking interest rates. Job stability was even tested with the remote work from home versus the get back in the office now mandate. There's been AI integration, ageism, recession whispers, and I don't mean to speak in past tense because most of these things I just mentioned, they're still going on right now. And when nothing feels stable, long-term financial planning becomes a luxury instead of a priority. Now, the fourth bad reason is debt has been normalized, and it's massive. Currently, Gen Xers hold more debt than any other generation, and it's a mixture of mortgage debt, consumer debt, credit card debt, medical debts. But just take a glance back to the 80s. We were the first generation handed credit cards at 18, usually as soon as you stepped foot on college campus. What kind of cruel joke is it to hand a 19-year-old a piece of plastic and say, go have fun, and no one warning you about the long-term consequences of that? Credit has been easy to get all of our adult lives, and many Gen Xers have been living with debt for years, and it's made it nearly impossible to build any real wealth because of that. And the fifth reason now is a really bad time to build wealth for Gen Xers is we're burned out and maxed out. Caregiving, job stress, health issues, aging, we're spread thin. And yeah, every generation faces challenges. I get that. But Gen X is really feeling the squeeze right now. We're all nearing our 50s, or we're in our 50s, And a lot of us want out of the rat race, but we feel stuck. Too much debt, not enough saved, and more health problems than previous generations, all while navigating the most expensive healthcare system in history. Some of us feel very discouraged. Some of us want to give up. Motivation feels pointless. We see no end in sight. And when motivation is low, it's really difficult to build wealth. Now I've laid out the hard truth. It's tough for Gen X. But now let's get into the other side of this. 5 reasons why now might be the best time ever to build wealth. Number 1 is information is free and it's everywhere. I truly believe that Gen Xers have suffered from a lack of financial education and guidance in our younger formative years. We didn't inherit the same financial system that our predecessors had. By the time we earned money, everything had changed. And access to information was pretty much non-existent then. But in the last couple of decades, all of that has changed. Today, there's free financial info everywhere, and Gen Xers know where and how to find it. All it costs is the time and the desire to learn it. Now, would it have been better to know all this knowledge 40 years ago? Yeah. But we've got it now, and that's what matters. Better late than never. The second reason why now may be the best time to build wealth, the traditional 9 to 5 is fading, and that's a good thing. The job landscape has drastically changed. You have remote work, you have flexible scheduling, better work-life balance. And I know that not everyone is experiencing these shifts in their jobs, but it is happening out there. And even beyond the evolution of mainstream work, side income now is more accessible than ever. When I was growing up, what used to mean, pizza delivery guy, now it can mean content creator, affiliate marketing, consulting, online courses, becoming a landlord by renting out properties, owning an Etsy store, turning your hobbies into side gigs, all while working a full-time job. And if you work remotely, you can move to a low cost of living area. If you have flexible work hours, you can build multiple income streams. And these options give us flexibility. And flexibility often matters more than a high salary. Number 3 is frugality is mainstream. People are waking up to lifestyle inflation. There are thousands of social media groups and YouTube channels whose theme revolves around frugality. Stretching your money, simplifying life. Minimalism and anti-consumerism, they used to be considered extreme. Now no one thinks twice about that label. You can drive a budget car and be admired for it. You can wear Walmart clothes and still look stylish, even trendy. It's no longer about impressing people. It's about resisting the temptation to spend. And some people have taken that on as a challenge. And the fourth reason that makes now one of the best times to build wealth is technology makes it easier. Gen Xers, we are the bridge between the analog and the digital worlds. We fully embraced both, and no other generation can claim that the way we can. We watched the internet being born, and many of us helped build it. So in other words, we know how to use technology to our advantage. We can automate savings, we can automate contributions, we can buy and trade stocks online, use spreadsheets, apps, and calculators to track our goals, read reviews, price compare, plan ahead. These things weren't available years ago, and we can lean on technology to grow our money. And the fifth reason why now could be the best time ever for Gen Xers to build wealth is the 401k. Now, I've said it before in a lot of my videos that Gen Xers, we were the guinea pigs for the 401k experiment. We were thrown into a brand new retirement model with no guidance, no pensions, and a whole lot of pressure to just figure it out ourselves. However, here's the upside. That same system has given us access to wealth building tools that our parents and our grandparents never had. I was the first person in my family to ever invest in the stock market, and it happened through my 401k. Before me, my parents, they just believed in acquiring a home and putting all of their money in that. And while owning a home can be a great investment, the stock market over time has often delivered better returns than real estate, especially when you automate your contributions, you don't panic when the market dips, and you just let it grow. And a lot of Gen Xers that have stayed in the market, even just through a 401k, have quietly benefited from that growth. So if you're already in the market, don't overlook that momentum that you've built. And if you're not in it yet, today is the best day to start. Because investing now is easier than ever. And it doesn't have to be your entire wealth plan, but making it a part of it is key. So let me know what you think. I've laid out the hurdles that Gen X is facing today, but I've also shared the power-ups that are at our fingertips. I'm a realist. It comes with Gen X territory. But I know that if we only focus on what is broken, we'll miss the tools right in front of us to move us forward and up. And if you feel behind on saving for your future, there are things that you can do. My hope is that this video gives you a little motivation to look at your own situation and also look for the opportunities that are out there. And I just want to take this moment to give a big welcome and a shout out to all my new subscribers. I'm so pumped to keep making videos like this and be one small voice for this overlooked but powerful generation of ours. Now check out this video if you want to dive a little deeper, called How Gen X Can Still Retire Even If the System is Broken. I'll link it right here. If you found this video helpful today, please hit the like button. It helps my channel. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.